would say that Eclipse is an attempt to fill some of the gaps in the science, policy, society interface landscape that we have in Europe around biodiversity and ecosystem services.
I would describe that as a relatively cheap, if you like, mechanism that with small resources can mobilize so much potential.
Eclipse is a very clever interface that brings together different people from very different backgrounds with the idea of passing on science in as much a non-scientific way possible to policymakers.
I would describe it as a really exciting and innovative way of providing evidence that policymakers and other societal actors can use to get what they need to make proper decisions.
I would choose the Eclipse approach as a requester of knowledge because simply I see the huge potential that is mobilization of the networks, the existing networks if you like, in order to come up with knowledge and synthesize this knowledge for my needs.
The Eclipse approach allowed us to ask a question we didn't have the expertise to answer. All countries are transgressing boundaries, be it environmental or social foundation boundaries. And Europe as such, even if Europe, through its EU energy policy, would like to reduce its footprint, it may nevertheless have impact beyond Europe. And this was exactly what we wanted to explore and for which we didn't have the answer. And Eclipse was giving us the resources in people, time, expertise, and also a bit of financial resources to be able to answer that question in a very thorough way, very deep way. So it was very important for us to do it through Eclipse.
Well, already as our first session, we've been able to narrow the question. Narrow in a sense, understand the question more, but also broaden the question so that it applies more generally, not only to France, but I think the EU. And as we are a European NGO, it's helpful to us to discuss with like-minded people about these questions, because I think this part of the scoping is important because this is the root of how it grows into whatever project. Eclipse was able to bring in different people from different levels and expertise and give us information that we don't necessarily have it's not so easy for us to get information, especially because of the subject that we're investigating.
What we experienced was a very impressive mobilization of resources and people who very dynamically engage into the question, try to answer it, which was for us also very exciting intellectually and brought us to engage in the process as well. So we weren't passively waiting for the answer to our question, which we could have done very comfortably actually, but rather we felt that it was a very exciting environment.
What you will receive from this is a bigger understanding of how science and policy can work together, and you'll develop networks in areas that you may not otherwise develop. And from that perspective, it's an opportunity, or what I call a journey. So it's an opportunity for growth, but it's also a journey of self-exploration that can come out of Eclipse.
Because we don't do the research for the researchers, we do it for society at the end of the day. So I think that's a perfect stage for that.
One of the main benefits we're looking for is to have results that are going to be based on a really rigorous process. So at the end of the day, you've got something that you can show has gone through a transparent process, and it's totally reliable and will give you results you can depend upon.
It's this mechanism that allows someone who has a question, a policymaker for instance, to go and go out to the world, the scientific community and the surrounding world of different stakeholders and other knowledge holders, and it allows this person to go out there and to say, this is the question I have and this is relatively urgent, and what can you say about this? And the mechanism is not about doing research, new research, but it's about saying, okay, how can we answer this question in a reliable, ethical, quick, appropriate, credible, legitimate and relevant way.